My girlfriend laughed and said, "You're so paranoid, he's just a friend," while deleting texts right in front of me. I said, "Perfect, then you won't mind being single," and walked out. She followed me to the car screaming that I was overreacting. My girlfriend, Maya, 26, was next to me, texting away on her phone. We had been together for almost 3 years, living together for the past one. But in the weeks leading up to that night, she had become distant, secretive even. And I noticed the little things. The extra time spent on her phone, the way she would tilt it away whenever I glanced at her. I didn't want to make a big deal of it at first, but as the days passed, something inside me couldn't ignore it anymore. Something was changing, and I wasn't sure if I liked it. "Who are you texting?" I asked casually, trying to mask the growing unease. I didn't even look up from the TV. She immediately tilted her phone further, hiding it from view. "Just Liam from work. He's asking about tomorrow's presentation," she said, her voice almost too smooth. "At 10:30 p.m., she added quickly, like that explained everything. I arched an eyebrow. "Kind of late for work stuff, isn't it?" She gave me a little laugh, not a genuine chuckle, but that mocking, dismissive one I had come to dread. "You're so paranoid. He's just a friend." And then, right in front of me, she did something that made my stomach drop. She swiped up on her phone and deleted the entire conversation thread. It wasn't subtle. She didn't even try to hide it. She just deleted it while making eye contact with me, as if daring me to do something about it. Something inside me snapped. My voice came out cold, perfect. "Then you won't mind being single." The look on her face shifted from smug to shocked in an instant, but I didn't wait for her to say anything. I stood up, grabbed my keys, and walked towards the bedroom. She followed me, calling after me, her voice high-pitched, a mix of confusion and frustration. "What are you talking about? You're being ridiculous." I didn't respond. I opened the closet, grabbed my overnight bag, and started tossing in essentials. Maya stood in the doorway, still trying to piece together what was happening. "Marcus, you're acting crazy," she continued, her voice rising. "It's nothing. I deleted it because I knew you'd overreact. I don't understand why you're acting like this." I threw a few more things in the bag, my movements quick and purposeful. "If it's nothing, why delete it?" I asked, not looking up. "You laughed at me, Maya. Right in front of me." I could feel the weight of the situation sink in as I grabbed my phone charger and stuffed it in the bag. She crossed the room, trying to block me from leaving. "You can't just leave. We've been together for 3 years. You can't throw that all away over nothing." I turned to face her, finally speaking up. "No, you threw it all away when you decided I was too stupid to notice what was going on." Her face crumpled for a second, and I felt a pang of regret, but it was fleeting. I couldn't do this anymore. I had to go. I made my way toward the door, and she followed, her voice now desperate. "Marcus, please. You're overreacting. You don't have to do this. Let's just talk. You're being so unreasonable." I didn't respond. I just kept walking. When I stepped into the parking lot, she caught up with me. Now she was screaming, her words a frantic mix of accusations and pleas. "You're overreacting. This is why I delete things. You're ruining everything." She literally stood behind my car, blocking me from backing out. I had to inch backward slowly while she screamed about how I was going to ruin everything over my insecurities. Finally, I got out of the parking lot and drove to my buddy Jake's place. He didn't ask any questions. He just handed me a beer and motioned for me to sit down. That night, my phone exploded. Missed calls, texts, voicemails. Remember one message from Maya that stood out. "I can't believe you traumatized me like this in front of our neighbors. When you calm down and want to act like an adult, I'll be waiting for your apology." My apology? That was rich. I didn't respond. Instead, I blocked her number and crashed on Jake's couch. The apartment lease was in my name only, thank God. Maya had been living there for 2 years, but she wasn't on the lease. She was never on the lease, But that didn't stop her from thinking she could just walk all over me. I knew I had to figure out what came next. But for now, I was just done. It had only been a few days since I left Maya, but the fallout was already becoming absurd. I had been crashing at Jake's place since Thursday, and things had escalated quickly. The next morning, my phone had been blowing up with messages from Maya, her friends, and even her family. Maya, it seemed, wasn't willing to let go of the situation, despite the fact that I had made it clear I was done. Saturday morning, 2 days after I left, I got a call from my building manager, Robert. "Hey, Marcus," he said, his tone casual, but I could tell there was something off. "Did you authorize Maya to change the locks?" "Wait, what?" I was momentarily stunned. "What?" "Yeah, she's here with a locksmith. Says you lost your keys and asked her to handle it." That was when I started to feel the full weight of her audacity. Maya was trying to take control of the situation like nothing had changed between us. Like she still had a say in everything. But I wasn't about to let that happen. "Robert, we broke up," I said, trying to keep my cool. "I moved out temporarily. She has zero authority to change anything." "I thought so," Robert replied. "I'll handle it." I could hear Maya in the background, shouting about safety and how I had abandoned her. Robert shut her down quickly, reminding her that she wasn't on the lease and had no legal right to do anything to the property. I hung up, shaking my head. This was only the beginning. By the time I blocked her number, Maya was already finding ways around it. She started using other people's phones to get messages to me. Her best friend, Sophia, called me Saturday afternoon, and her words were a slap in the face. "Marcus," she said, her voice full of judgment, "what you're doing is abusive. Leaving Maya alone in that apartment like that without any warning? She's terrified." "Terrified?" I repeated, incredulous. She was deleting texts right in front of me and laughing at my concerns. "I'm done with her." "Liam's gay, Marcus," Sophia added, like that changed everything. "You threw away your relationship over a gay man." I was speechless. Funny how this crucial detail had never come up during any of Maya's "he's just a friend" speeches. But that still didn't explain the texts being deleted. If Liam was really just a friend, then why go to such lengths to hide their conversations? Why delete things if there was nothing to hide? Sophia didn't even give me a chance to respond before she hung up, leaving me staring at my phone in disbelief. And then came the real kicker. Sunday. Maya, it seemed, had decided that if she couldn't change the locks, she would just add someone else to the apartment. Someone to replace me, or at least try to. I got another call from Robert. "Maya's here," he said, sounding confused. "She's got a guy with her, and they're trying to move in furniture." I couldn't believe it. She had shown up with a random guy, a U-Haul truck, and started moving things into my apartment as if I had given her permission. I felt my blood boil. I had already made it clear I was done with her. "Robert, she's not authorized to do any of that," I said, trying to stay calm. "She's not on the lease." "I'll take care of it," he assured me. "But the guy with the U-Haul, his name's Liam, right? The same one she's been texting?" Of course it was Liam. The guy who, according to Maya, was just a friend. The same guy she had claimed was gay, but who was now apparently living with her in my apartment. I didn't even bother to entertain the possibility of talking to Maya anymore. This was beyond ridiculous. After blocking her number, I moved forward with my next step. That Monday, I took a sick day from work, and I finally decided it was time to handle things in my own way. I went to the apartment while Maya was at work, using my key to enter the place that she still thought she had any claim to. The first thing I did was start packing my stuff. My gaming setup, my TV from the living room, kitchen appliances, everything I had brought into that apartment. I wasn't going to leave a single thing behind that was mine. But then, as I was packing, I found something that really got under my skin. A men's watch on my nightstand. It wasn't mine. It was clear as day. I snapped a photo of it and then left it right where I found it. I didn't need to confront her about it just yet. I had bigger plans. I called the utility companies and scheduled the disconnection of everything in my name. Gas, electricity, internet, everything. It would take 30 days for them to shut it off, giving Maya just enough time to find another place to live. But given her history, I doubted she'd actually take responsibility for finding somewhere new. Finally, I sent Maya a formal text from a Google Voice number. This is notice that I will not be renewing the lease when it expires in 45 days. As you are not a tenant on the lease, this serves as your 30-day notice to vacate. All utilities will be disconnected in 30 days. Please make alternative arrangements. Her response was exactly what I expected, frantic, defensive, entitled. Within an hour, Robert called me. Marcus, Maya's at the leasing office, crying. She's demanding to be added to the lease. She says she has squatter's rights or something, but you know that's not how it works. I could almost hear the desperation in Robert's voice. Maya wasn't even trying to hide her sense of entitlement anymore. I'll handle it, I said calmly. As the week went on, Maya's attempts to control the situation only escalated. But I was done being the person she could manipulate. I wasn't about to let her take advantage of me, not anymore. I wasn't the one throwing our relationship away. She had done that herself. This was just the beginning, but I knew one thing. There was no going back. 2 weeks passed, and the escalation of Maya's entitlement had reached new heights. I couldn't even believe the lengths she was going to just to try and hold on to what she thought was hers. But what struck me the most wasn't her attempts to manipulate or deceive me. It was how she still thought she could get away with it. I wasn't the naive person I had been when we first got together. The reality of our situation was clear. I needed to stick to my guns and not let her push me around. The situation with the lease was still unresolved, and Maya hadn't moved out yet. I was still staying at Jake's place, mostly keeping to myself and trying to focus on my work, but things were spiraling out of control. One Monday afternoon, I got a call from Robert. "Hey Marcus," Robert said, his voice urgent. "You might want to come down to the building. Maya has got a moving truck here, but this time it's not to leave." I felt a sinking feeling in my stomach. "What now?" I asked, already dreading the answer. "She's trying to stage a fake residency. She's bringing in furniture from Goodwill, and she's got Liam helping her move it in. They're trying to make it look like she's been living there the entire time. It's like she thinks she can somehow prove she's been here long enough to claim squatter's rights or something." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Maya wasn't just trying to manipulate me into taking her back or making me feel guilty. Now she was straight up attempting fraud. She was literally setting up a fake life in my apartment to try and establish residency. "I'll be there in a few," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. When I arrived at the building, Robert was already there, watching as Maya and Liam moved the mismatched furniture into the apartment. It wasn't just a few pieces. She had brought a full load of things. It was like she was trying to create the illusion that she had been living there the whole time. "Marcus, you need to see this," Robert said as I approached. "I don't know what's going on in her head, but this is beyond manipulation. It's fraud." I stood there for a moment, just taking it in. Maya wasn't even trying to hide it anymore. She was taking things from a second-hand store, bringing them in with Liam, and making it look like she had every right to be there. It was pathetic. I didn't say anything at first. I just watched her. Then I called my lawyer and asked for immediate advice. I was done being polite, done being the understanding ex-boyfriend. Maya was making this far worse than it had to be. The lawyer's advice was simple. Document everything. So that's exactly what I did. I snapped photos of everything. The furniture, the moving truck, the broken door she had tried to fix, the garbage left behind, the mess. I documented the hell out of it. I wasn't going to let her walk away with a single thing that wasn't hers. The next morning, I went down to the apartment with my lawyer and made sure to take all the necessary steps. Maya didn't know it yet, but this time I was in control. I sent her another formal notice, This one from my lawyer's office. Formal notice of termination of tenancy to Maya, last name, date. Date, Dear Maya, this serves as your formal notice that you are in violation of the terms of your stay at the apartment located at apartment address. You are required to vacate the property within the next 30 days. Failure to comply will result in legal action. Please be advised that the actions taken by you, including unauthorized occupancy and attempts to establish residency without permission, have been documented and will be presented in court if necessary. Regards, a lawyer's name, a law firm. I wasn't just trying to get her out anymore, I was making sure that I would have legal protection should this spiral any further. But it didn't end there. 2 days later, I got a call from Robert again. This time, he was furious. Maya had a party in your apartment last night, Marcus, he said. A huge one. She had at least 40 people over, blasting music, and there were noise complaints from multiple units. She even charged admission, claiming it was a fundraiser for her illegal eviction. I could feel my blood pressure rising. This was the last straw. Maya did what? I asked, barely able to comprehend it. Yeah. And on top of that, she's violating the occupancy rules. She doesn't have permission to add anyone to the apartment. I already gave her a warning, but now we have to deal with a full-scale violation. I could barely process it. Maya was throwing a party in my apartment, without my consent, without permission, and making money off it. She was trying to turn my life into a circus. I knew I needed to take legal action right away. I contacted my lawyer again, who advised that I take another step to ensure Maya wouldn't try to pull anything else. I didn't want to waste any more time. The next day, I received even more confirmation that Maya wasn't going down without a fight. I was at work when I got a call from Robert once again. Marcus, you're going to want to hear this, he said, his voice tense. Maya tried to move more stuff in this morning. She even brought in a few more pieces from Goodwill, including a lamp. I couldn't help but laugh. The level of entitlement she had was absolutely insane. Did she really think I wouldn't notice? I said to myself. That was when I decided it was time to take even more action. Showed up at the apartment that afternoon to do the final walkthrough. It was my last chance to document everything before the lease expired. I needed to make sure I wasn't caught up in any more of her mess. When I walked into the apartment, I almost couldn't believe what I saw. Maya had painted one of the walls bright purple. She had removed all the cabinet doors in the kitchen and even superglued the bedroom door shut. She had poured an entire bottle of maple syrup on the bathroom floor and left food in the unplugged refrigerator. The apartment was completely trashed. But that wasn't all. She was sitting in the middle of the living room surrounded by the furniture she had brought in, crying on Instagram Live. Look at how I've been living, she said, fake tears streaming down her face. This is what he's doing to me. He's making me homeless. I stood there, watching the absurdity unfold, as she tried to turn this whole situation into a public spectacle. She had completely lost her grip on reality. Robert looked at me and then at the mess. This is insane, he said, clearly bewildered. I've never seen anything like it. I could barely process it. And then Maya made her ultimate mistake. She stood up, grabbed a lamp, and threw it at the wall, right in front of the Instagram live camera. That was the moment when everything changed. Robert immediately called the police, not for eviction, but for vandalism and destruction of property. When the police arrived, Maya switched into full victim mode. She started crying, claiming that I had been emotionally abusive, that she was scared for her life. But when the officers asked her if she was on the lease, Maya couldn't provide any proof. She couldn't even provide proof that she lived there. She was caught. With my evidence, photos, texts, social media posts, Maya's lies came crashing down. The police arrested her for vandalism and destruction of property. The aftermath. The arrest made headlines and soon, Maya's entire narrative began to unravel. Her friends, her family, even Liam, Everyone started to see her for who she truly was. Her parents tried to sue me for emotional distress, but my lawyer shut them down fast. They realized they had no case and dropped the lawsuit. Meanwhile, Maya's life fell apart. She had no job, no apartment, and her criminal record was making it impossible for her to rent anywhere decent. And as for me? Well, I had moved into a new, better apartment. Robert even gave me a discount on a 2-bedroom with a better view. I was done with the drama, and I was finally free.